Parish Police Jury's agenda meeting, morning session, Monday, October 6th, 2025. We'll get started with the Pledge of Allegiance and a prayer.
Our God and our Heavenly Father, we bow to you and we humble ourselves in front of your throne, your majesty. Heavenly Father, you are the supreme God. And God, we thank you for each of these constituents and each of these people that's here to help the government, to help Cameron Parish Police Jury. And we thank you for all the calls and the guidance we get from everyone. We thank thee for the staff and for each one of these jurymen. Heavenly Father, guide us in our decision. We know it's by your wisdom that we make the right choice. Give us that wisdom, Lord. Let us partake of it. And all these things, in the precious name of Jesus Christ, we pray. Amen. Amen.
All right, we're just gonna get started here with Mr. Ron. Gonna give us a little talk. I don't know if everybody knows, but Mr. Ron has stepped in and helped the jury tremendously on a temporary basis, and he's, I think today's his last meeting. So go ahead, Mr. Ron.
Thank you, Mr. President. On June 14th of this year, 6 jurors bestowed upon me the honor of being an interim juror. Since then, I have enjoyed serving with them and working with the police jury employees. I've received blessings that I would always remember. Our friendships have grown stronger by working together. I so appreciate being able to serve in the capacity that I never thought possible. What I have learned and am proudly now able to tell the public is that these jurors work. What you have elected as a public to serve as your jurymen is a very well diverse group of people that come from a lot of different backgrounds to make up a whole. In Sonny, we have plant technology and a lot of police jury experience, plant knowledge. We have a lot of plants in Cameron Parish. In Michael, we have a good citizen, and we have a lot of pipeline knowledge and technology. We have miles and miles of pipeline running through Cameron Parish. In Ronald, again, we have some more plant technology and business experience working with the public. In Bart, we have vast marsh knowledge and also a lot of mechanical knowledge with all the equipment we have that helps. In Sam, his whole career has been in conservation, marsh knowledge, waterways. He got that wisdom from ever since when he was young, when he was 15 years old. And that brings a lot to the table, each one of them. And Mr. Johnny, we have years of business experience and a lot of electrical knowledge, a lot of electricity in the plants and all over. And he knows how to run people and work with people. So I want to tell you, you got a very diverse group of people that makes up a whole as a jury. They work hard. They work hard because they love the people of Cameron Parish. They love Cameron Parish. I've had the opportunity to see this firsthand. It isn't just once a month meeting. There are always 1 or 2 special meetings during the month and committee meetings and things that pop up that they need 1 to 3 jurors to attend. There are also a lot of emails and a lot of reading. My fellow jurors are both professionals and passionate about their work here in the parish. Cameron Parish is what they are about. Just speak with them and you'll soon find that out. Also, fellow jurors, I thank you for taking the time to update me on past events so I could understand where we are presently in our different areas. One weekend, like many others, comes to mind while I was on the jury. We were communicating pretty heavily about an issue, and I told Mary, these guys do not rest. They do not stop. To all the employees, all the staff, whatever your position is, you decided to make Cameron Parish Police Jury your career. I appreciate that very much. I've been by the offices, and I've been by Grand Lake Barn and visited you, all of you that I could. You come every day, and you work hard. You are the professionals that keep the business of the police jury going. I don't see how you do it on the budget that we have, but you do it. I thank you for letting me know what each of you do and updating me on past and present events. You have really helped me to understand the multifaceted areas that you deal with every day. The emails and texts and messages just don't stop. Katie told me one day, Mr. Ron, I believe you are enjoying this more than you thought you would. Well, Katie, I can tell you, you were exactly right. You was right indeed. Thank you, everyone. I would be amiss if I wouldn't thank the DA's office for the work that you do with the jury, the judge's office, the clerk of court's office, the tax assessor's office, the sheriff's office, the school board, the port board, the extension service, the mosquito control, all the local districts, the library board, parish-wide and local districts. The police jury works with all of you, and I've enjoyed working with you also. It takes all of us to make it work. Many of you wear more than one hat. Most of all, I thank the Cameron Parish constituents. You make it all worth it. I have visited with every sheriff at one point or another, and I can tell you, we have a treasure here in Cameron Parish. Cameron Parish, from the police jury, we love you. Thank you for allowing me to serve all these years. This police jury service was icing on the cake. Thank y'all.
Thank you, Mr. Ron. Really appreciate it, sir. All right, yeah. Okay, we're gonna acknowledge recognize our local students, who are rodeo state final qualifiers, and present them with a certificate today. And if y'all would, as I call y'all name, if y'all come up here in the front, and Mary's gonna get y'all our certificate, and we're gonna get a picture with y'all. So J.C. Earbounty. Brady Hayes. Neely LeBeau. Ike Little. Branson Mudd. Ava Nunez. Emma Nunez. Jaden Nunez. Ellie Seifert. Emery Seifert. Thanks, Gerard. Come down and get a picture with him, please.
Okay, and yeah, I can see everybody's faces. Oh, that's me. All right, and 3, 2, 1. One more. Oh. 3, 2, 1.
Thank you. Normally they stand up there, the kids are down here. Photoshop about anybody you want to. There you go.
All right, IBC,
Yes, Mr. Ronald. I'm going to ask Mr. Rodney and Miss Claire Richard to come to the podium and introduce themselves. And while they make their way to the podium, I just wanted to remind the public that we are currently without a chief building code official. We are currently advertising to fill that position. But for the interim basis, at least for the next year, in the foreseeable future, we're going to contract with his company, and he's going to provide all of your CBO services throughout the parish. Your building inspections, your plan reviews, your condemnations. So I'll turn it over to Mr. Rodney.
Yes, sir. But just tell you a little bit about myself. All I know is the contracting world. I was a carpenter all my life and a commercial contractor as well as a residential contractor. And once I called myself retiring out of that, I got talked into becoming a building official for a little community called Carencro. And from there, it just blossomed, I call it. Probably busier now than when I was contracting because of the many areas that we work in. So my goal is to keep all the problems away from you guys. If I do my job properly, I don't think y'all will hear any complaints from the citizens. That's my goal. And Claire is my daughter. She is a major in biology and whatever else, but she's a flood administrator, and she also works for several different municipalities. So she can say a little bit more about flood than I can promise you that. But we appreciate the chance to serve y'all and move the parish forward, whatever y'all have going on.
thank you, sir. Any
And
questions?
just for the public's knowledge, we will continue to offer services on Tuesdays and Thursdays by appointment. And then emergency services or inspections are going to be held for Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Any questions?
Thank you. Hey,
Thank y'all.
thank you, sir. All right, violation hearing, 117 Magnolia Street, Cameron, Louisiana.
So we have an RV park that was constructed at 117 Magnolia Street. And I asked this to be put on because we've had several complaints from people in the area of RVs that are not road ready, accumulated material on that RV park site. I did do that I think is that the updated photos from, okay, those are the updated photos from Friday, and I think Mr. Tysinger is here. I just wanted to bring it to your attention to see maybe if something can be done to get it back in compliance.
Is Mr. Tysinger here?
He is.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, as Ms. Robbins stated, there's quite a bit of photos there, but each and every one of those we went down and we addressed each one as far as the pictures. There's one, like the issue right there with the building, we removed that from site because it didn't have a permit.
As of Friday?
No, as of
Mary.
yesterday.
Okay, as of yesterday, okay.
We kind of worked all weekend. So, And this one's not road ready, doesn't have a tire on there and a rim, and we replaced that as well. And this is the area in the back, old appliances, all those have been loaded up and taken to the dump. They're on trailer right now. I have one trailer left. I had an additional one that was there that needed to be demoed, so I scrapped it all down to the frame, and that'll be done today. This is one of our local residents that I rent to, so we got onto them to cleaning up that. Each and every trailer that was on the back property, which is a non-permitted area, that's where I had trailers that I was working on, where I demo them. It is not associated with the 14 spots that are permitted right now. So what I want to do is make sure that I have all this ready, because I just bought more land in Cameron Parish. So I want to stay here. I'm a resident now, so I just want to make it go away. Anything like this won't be brought back to my property again. So these pictures that you're seeing now, those are on the non-permitted lots, the 2 lots I purchased behind the RV park.
They're road ready?
The ones that are in the park, yes.
No,
These
out of
are
the
all, I removed all of them off of the back property. There was 12 trailers. And the only other issue that I saw that needs to be addressed, is not in the photos. I have a building there that needs to either be, and what I did is I have a trailer like that one that I demoed that has the axles on it. So we're gonna place that on the trailer and weld it down so it's mobile in case something happens. All that's gone.
Ms. Robin, do we have any public concern about any of this going on right now with this lot?
With this particular one, I mean, I've received several calls on it, and I've tried to address it with Mr. Tysinger several times.
Okay.
And
I was just seeing if all those needs was being met and ironed out also.
I mean, I can go back out there tomorrow, being that he did do some work over the weekend, and make sure that everything is in compliant.
Yes.
And you'll see a big difference, definitely.
Okay.
Ms.
I
Robin?
mean, I just, I explained to him, we don't need, stuff that can be brought to the dump. These broken down appliances, we're getting complaints from other people in that subdivision. And he can have the accessory building, we just need to get it permitted. I mean, I know he needs a place to store maybe a lawnmower to keep that park up.
And the one question I had also was like the connexes that we have. Obviously, I've been here for years working for Kiewit on CP1. The connexes are all over Cameron on the ground, okay? Because they are mobile, because it takes a trailer to pick them up.
We can permit it as an accessory building to your park.
So
That's not a problem.
So I don't have to have that up on a trailer, or does it?
No, I mean, as long as you're using it for storage of your material, but we do need, I suggest that we do get them permitted, and we just need it cleaned up.
Ms. Robin, is this the same part that we had some complaints on the
Yes,
different, the separation from trailer to trailer? Being
Yes,
parked
sir.
too close? Okay.
Yes, sir.
And in our permitting, situation, do we explain to them clearly, what spacing they need, what they can do,
I
what
don't
they
think
can't
we
do?
really have, because we have no zoning. I know there is a separation from structure to structure in the building codes. I don't know if it pertains to the RV. His were pretty close. He could barely get a vehicle in between them.
Yeah, well, maybe we need to prepare something that we can hand out when they get their permits, so that we don't have to skin this cat more than we need to.
Right.
Because we got a lot of parks coming up, and a lot of parks already here. We solve this problem, maybe to help to have a handout to tell them what they can and can't do, what we expect.
Yes, sir.
I think the biggest thing is that the gray area there is it's by state code, okay, and it's like 10 foot, but it doesn't say trailer to trailer or tongue to tongue. So what I did is I stretched out the total length of my property and added in and made it between 21 and 24 foot between it, where 2 of those photos, one was like 15.4 and one was 8 foot. It just happened to be a second slide out on one of the campers on the opposite side. So those have all been separated tongue to tongue.
Because we were getting some complaints of your people that are renting, they were parking on other people's property as well.
And what that all boils down to is safety. One that happens to light on fire, we don't want the whole park on fire.
Yes, sir.
I can go back out there tomorrow and make sure that everything is in compliance.
Thank you for the progress and hope everything reflects that.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Roberts.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Tysee. All right, Mr. Josh.
Thank you, sir.
Is that the right pattern to hide from the mosquitoes?
Hey, Josh, how you doing?
Sir.
All right, how y'all doing? Can y'all hear me good?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, if y'all remember this spring, I came to y'all, getting y'all's permission to apply for an IRT training with the Air Force. That's readiness training that they do, and the one we applied for is a 4-parish readiness training: Calcasieu, Cameron, Vermilion, and Iberia. Well, it did get approved, so we are approved for this fiscal year to have that training done. And the stipulations of it is the mosquito control provides the chemical, then the Air Force will provide their Air Force and the crew, and everything will be at no cost except for the price of the chemical. And it is actually scheduled originally for this week, but since the federal government shut down, I'm not really sure if that's going to happen or not. They do have a few other proposed dates that may happen for this season. And if that didn't come through, I guess something would happen next mosquito season and stuff. But
Have they ever answered your calls?
not yet, but I do have a meeting with them this afternoon.
Okay.
So I should know something later on. But anyway, going forward, I need to get this document approved that is handed y'all. And what that is gives the Mosquito Control Authority to act on behalf of Cameron Parish for the purposes of coordinating with the Department of Defense for readiness training missions and to aerially apply pesticide in Cameron Parish.
Hey, Josh,
Yes.
what type of chemical are they gonna be spraying?
They're going to be spraying Dibrome, which is same thing that we spray and is EPA registered for residential areas.
And that's a contact killer?
Yes, sir.
And they're gonna let you know, and you're gonna send out messages on when they're gonna be doing this?
Yes, that's right. All right.
Mr. Josh, they spread a little stronger. Is that right?
They actually do, because the rate that they usually put out is for post-emergency kind of spraying. We put out 0.5 ounces an acre, and their rate's usually 0.66 ounces an acre, so it's a little bit stronger.
Sound like a plan.
And as far as the public notice, I already did run one public notice because since it was originally scheduled for this week, and there is a possibility where it may still, once I find out updates, I'll definitely send out way more notices and stuff. Keep everybody updated.
Thank you, Mr. Josh.
All right.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate it.
Okay.
Any questions? All right, consideration of a no-wake zone, creating a no-wake zone, in the loop here. Is Ms. Kim here?
Good morning.
Morning.
So I know I've been here once before discussing the no-wake zone, and I think it's come to that point where we're going to have to move forward on it. I'm getting several complaints of different boats moving through and causing damages to both commercial barges and to our fishermen boats. And so basically what I've provided is just a map of the area from the north point to the south point on the loop. So it would include the whole entire loop as a no-wake zone. And it's basically proposed to improve navigational safety, protect private and commercial waterfront assets, and reduce shoreline erosion. It will be, and this, I've also provided just a basic, completely up to y'all to write the ordinance, but just a starting point with the Latin launch of the beginning and the ending points. And then I've also had conversations with Sheriff Savoy in that they are getting their Marine Division ramped up and going with the hiring of Terry Falk. I've worked with Terry the last few weeks, going and looking at different marine marinas provided for sheriff boats, and we're working on that as a port board to provide them a place for their boats where they'll have one in the water all the time. They're working on hiring more and getting more Marine Division trained. And so I think this is a good point for us to go forward with a no-wake zone. It actually reads, all vessels operating within the no-wake zone shall proceed at bare steerage speed, creating no appreciable wake. So there isn't actually a speed named in this. Could be done if y'all felt differently, but size of boats are going to depend on, you know, how they navigate. And so I've looked at several of the Calcasieu no-wake zone ordinances, and they read more like this. So of course, Mr. Tom's office would, I guess, need to make sure that all of this is good, and if there's anything y'all need to add. I just wanted to bring it to you today because I think we're at that point with more and more navigation in that channel. We need to do something to protect the commercial boats. We need to do something to protect our shorelines, and then for the safety of everyone.
Well, Kim, you answered two of my questions already in your talk. I appreciate that. One is enforcement.
Mm-hmm.
And I hadn't talked to the sheriff about that, but I'm glad that, of course, you had talked to him, and I'm happy about this. I knew that, there would be a place to, dock the sheriff's boat in the future, working in conjunction with y'all. The second is the term appreciable wake, because that makes a big difference. It's very difficult to just maintain no wake at all.
Right.
But appreciable wake is a wake in which there's no damage caused,
Right.
or no potential damage caused, I should say. So I like that part. So that was my two questions. How big a wake are we allowing, and the enforcement part?
I've also looked up the signage and marking of what is required and put it in here as well, just for reference.
Who will take the responsibility to get that installed and maintain signage?
The port board will do that.
Okay.
Are we ready, Tom, to go out for public response on this?
Almost.
Almost.
I don't know that I've seen that particular document that you do.
No, you haven't. You
Okay.
haven't.
I think you'd sent me an email about this. Chelsea, we'd worked on this a year or so ago, and in one of the responses, there may have been a request for more than just the loop area that we're talking about. So if there are other areas that you want to add to it, we need to specifically delineate, describe what those areas are, where they are, along with the other details of what Kim has done a great job in preparing.
Are we aware of some other areas?
I thought I saw an email, somebody said,
Mr. Sonny had asked him and Curtis a few years ago, something, I think, in the Hackberry area.
Well, I asked there recently,
Kelso
I sent an email on the Kelso Bayou in certain locations, especially around our marinas and stuff like that, and docks.
2 or 3 years ago.
We can do this like we're gonna do the Jake break deal, cause I got a feeling that we'll be adding to these things, so we'll just make it easy to where we can just come up here and add to it.
we'll draft it, and if we don't catch all the areas, if you wanna add to it next month, next year, we can just add another provision describing the area that you would like to add that maybe you're not aware of it today, but I guess you could, authorize at your meeting today, add on, for us to publish it. We'll get something finalized out to all of y'all by the end of the week, and then you'll already have given Mary permission to advertise for that.
Yeah, and that's why I was asking that question, if we
I
were
can
gonna do
also
it
add,
today.
if you know a specific area in Hackberry, if we can talk, and I can add the Latin Lounge in there of that area, and that can be done at the
We'll
same
need the
time. I don't
distance,
know any
how
reason.
far you wanna go past Kelso Bay Bridge, and then I guess all the way to the ship channel, I'm assuming.
Well, that's what I don't know if you wanna go all the way to Ship Channel.
No, it's not. It's just past the.
We
past
have
the
some,
marina boats.
Just give us some idea.
It's just to prevent the damage.
Tad, you know aware of any damage to the, commercial fishing boats? You know,
Our main thing is the loop with the boat launch being there now, you know, you have a lot more traffic in that area.
Not only have I had complaints from fishermen, I've also had complaints from some of our commercial people that have had, barges that were tended, that broke the tend and damaged barges. So, I think definitely there's enough justification.
pretty good weight there to
To do
break
it.
barges loose.
Oh, well, on, Tom, how would you go about setting the, fines or, citations or with the judge?
We'd probably make it a misdemeanor.
Yeah,
And that's what, most of the things that are in your ordinance are misdemeanors. That
Yeah.
means
that's right.
up, typically a misdemeanor means up to $500 fine, so 0 to 500, the court's discretion, because not every case is the same, depending on the size, so forth and so on. So the judge sets that. And typical misdemeanor is 0 to 6 months in jail. Usually a traffic, I consider this kind of like a traffic fine. It would not be jail time, but what typically the court will do is 5 days, 10 days in jail, suspended, conditioned upon you paying your fines and costs. If you don't pay your fines and costs, then you gotta go spend, some people choose to go spend the time in jail. I mean, so, but that's, and I don't know that we need 6 months, but it would be something like 0 to 30 days, 0 to 60 days. But that's really just in case they don't pay their fines and court costs, the leverage the
and
court has.
if they do cause property damage, it wouldn't be included in this, it would be a civil deal?
We could include it as an element, but nowadays, I tell victims all the time, the legislature has really taken away our ability to collect restitution. That's a
Right.
very generalized statement. We do our best, but if there are real damages, I always encourage people to file a civil suit. We do our best, but if someone comes in and says, for instance, someone caused a lot of damage, whatever that damage may be, if they claim to be destitute, that they can't afford to pay the restitution, then the court cannot imprison them because of their failure to pay that restitution, even if it's a condition of their sentence. If they just say, hey, I'm indigent is the key word. I'll give you for example, we had a grown man who could work, did work when he wanted to work, but he chose not to. The court appointed him a lawyer because he was, quote, indigent, because he chose not to work. Now, I didn't agree with that, but that's what the rule is. The point is, I'm getting a little out, point is that we can't, it's difficult for us to collect restitution.
Right,
So-
right. But so you answered my question, it can be included in the factor of the citation.
Can be, yes.
It's like almost like a vehicle crash,
Correct.
in a way.
It would be a condition of their, again, 10 days suspended, condition upon paying fine, court cost, and making restitution. If they fail to make the restitution, they violated their conditions of probation. It's up to the court whether they have to go serve that time or not. And then there's limitations of when.
The Marine Department would make a report
Yes.
if there was damage.
It's like a crash report, correct, yeah.
So I guess we can, Mr. Tom, I guess whatever resources you need to get that, something drawn up and we can
We'll
put it
get
on the agenda for,
We'll get it put
November.
together. I can bring it back to you next meeting for your final. We'll have it to you, we'll get the mayor's emails, you can start looking at it.
Do you want to move it to the voting agenda today to advertise, or did you want, that way you can vote in
That's why
November?
I
Or
think
do you want to wait and advertise beginning November?
I think we wanna see the ordinance.
November. We'll advertise in November.
We'll have it to you.
Thank you.
And to my knowledge, Michael, I believe there's an automatic no-wake zone around every marina. I don't know the distance.
300 feet.
300 feet.
Around every public boat launch.
Good. And that's state, right?
That's state.
Okay. All right, Mr. Al Jenkins.
Okay, those are actually quick bullet points for what we're going to be discussing today. Gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Al Jenkins. I live in Florine, Louisiana, up on Toledo Bend. And 3 months ago, it was brought to my attention. My wife and I, we just moved here from Texas, and it was brought to our attention 3 months ago that SRA Louisiana intends to sell the water off of Toledo Bend to the state of Texas. And when I say sell the water, we're talking about selling all of the water, because the infrastructure going in is going to accommodate for more than the water that was on the a question and answer question page that was provided for us, which means they're going to put in a pipe bigger than what SRA had discussed, saying that we will accommodate for any additional sales. And if they want to, they would put additional piping in Toledo Bend for additional sales. How many T's on that line would be dependent upon how many customers they can sell this water to. So to let you know in a nutshell, they intend on selling all of the water. Now they've been denying it. No, we don't have a letter of intent. We don't have a contract. We don't, nothing, that's what they've been saying. They've been saying it on the radio. Alan Seaball's been saying that on the radio. Warren Founds has been saying that. Ned Goodo's been saying, everybody's been saying that at our meetings. Everybody's saying there's no letter of intent. There's no water sale. And then lo and behold, out of a FOIA, because I kept saying, how do you have a question and answer if you don't have a letter of intent? Well, we spent over 2.5 hours in Warren Found's office as he spoke to us, and he accidentally let the information out that they had already had a contract on the governor's desk and he refused to sign it. We asked FOIA, can we get a copy of that? All right, this questionnaire is pertaining to this letter of intent from 2022, and they said everything had expired. There's no contract, there's no letter of intent, and as of this last month, just a couple of weeks ago, when we went to the SRA meeting, they kept saying, we don't have a letter of intent, we don't have a contract, and I said, that was at 10 a.m. in the morning. At 1 o'clock, they reconvened and they came back in. I spoke again and I said, ladies and gentlemen, the letter of intent right here from 2022 says on line number 9C, it says, no supplement, no modification, no termination, or amendment of this letter of intent shall be effective unless executed in writing by both parties. And they said, we tabled that. And I said, do you have a letter of intent or has it expired? You can't say you table something if it's in non-existent. That's how untruthful they are being to us at this point. And I told them, I said, all you have to do now is change the date, re-sign the contract from 2022, and you can sell that. You can sell that water off of Toledo Bend. And it is true. The questionnaire, how much? 600,000 acre feet. But what about additional? And it says the system would most likely be built to allow incremental expansions over time if additional water volumes are sold or contracted. So this is above 600,000 acre feet. And we just went on, the questionnaire, because I kept saying, how do you have a question and answer on something you don't have? And then again, like I said, we just received this. This is something we received just, about 2.5 weeks ago, not even 3 weeks ago. So we got additional information showing us they had a contract. They did have a letter of intent. What does that mean for the state of Louisiana? Okay. Fortunately for this cause, I got involved. And I'm not trying to say I'm somebody or something. I'm not a politician. I came over here to retire. I came from Texas to come over here to the beautiful Lake Toledo Bend and spend the rest of my days on the lake. But something happened. I got confronted with this. And I called my brother, he's a graduate of Harvard Law School, and he practiced law in Shreveport, Louisiana. And he said, oh, Al, wait. He said, when you told me that they're trying to sell this water, he said, He said, laws are different in Texas than they are in Louisiana. You have riparian rights here. Texas has point of origin rights. It's completely different, okay? And he said, you need to study and learn about this. He gave me pointers, but he didn't give me all this information. He made me read and learn and study to understand what was going on. In the compact, and you have it in your bullet points about the compact, there in the very front, I had to explain to the SRA this last meeting that this is a law. This is not a suggestion from Congress. It's Law 252, 82nd Congress, November 1st of 1951. Warren Founds believes this is just a suggestion that Texas and Louisiana can do whatever they want to. And I said, again, they don't make suggestions, they make laws. So we got into a dispute about that. But the main thing that you have to remember is that the utilization of the water there is for improving the area. Texas intends on sending this water wherever, West Texas, whatever. And my brother said, listen, you have to remember too, my ex-father-in-law lived in Tyler, Texas. He started a small ranch over there, and he dammed up the creek so that he could get a pond going for his cattle. The locals sued him. When he went to court, they said, Mr. Abbott, tell us what's going on. Who owns the point of origin? This was in 1985. Mr. Abbott says, I own the point of origin. The judge says, that's your water. You do with it what you want to. The reason why I bring that to you is because a compact is a contract between states. We found out board members didn't even know what a compact was. I hope that I'm not trying to talk down to y'all. I'm not. I'm just trying to make sure everybody understands that a compact is a law-binding contract between states. You and I have contracts. States have compacts. So if we break this compact with the state of Texas, all right, and that is the reason why I say if we do that, is because at this point, it's 50-50 ownership. Texas owns half, Louisiana owns half. With this question and answer, they're essentially selling the state of Texas the water rights back. Even one of the board members said, it's ludicrous to look at this because what the question and answer through this letter of intent is saying, we're giving them our water rights back. We're selling it to them. Well, what does that do? If you sell your water rights back to Texas, who owns the water? Texas does. They're greedy. I don't care what anybody says. Nobody in their right mind that's in this for money, and that's what all this is about. SRA Louisiana has, I don't know, $40-50 million sitting in the bank right now. Half of that has been allocated, so that means they're sitting on about $25 million. They don't need the money. So they're selling it for what? Greed. They want more money. Okay, when they do that, and Texas owns the water, it allows their lawyers at that point to take them back to court because they've broke the compact. They're not conserving water. They're not wanting to generate power. They're not concerned with the state of Louisiana. So therefore, the lawyers will have the ability to take them back to court and say, we own the point of origin, they've sold us their water rights back, and we're not going to pay them another penny. And what else can they do? They make each and every one of us that's on the Sabine River, that's each and every resident in the state of Louisiana, could be required to have an out-of-state fishing license because they will own the water. The Texas legislature right now is putting laws into place stopping all out-of-state water sales. That means they will not even be able to sell us the water at any price if they break this compact. We have been working diligently. We are now working with the jurors. I want to let y'all know that we're honored to say that so far We've talked to 3 juror committee, and we have 3 resolutions stopping the out-of-state sales. All 3 that we have talked to, you are number 4. I'm not doing this just to get this information to you guys. I want all of the state of Louisiana to understand the detriment this will be. Sure, they can get, there's end-around games that they can do with this compact to sell that water to the state of Texas. But the ramifications from these decisions will be to the detriment of Louisiana. 48%, I don't know how many people know this or not, 48% of the state of Louisiana depends on the Chico Aquifer. You have 800 million gallons being drawn off the aquifer daily, and $313 million being put back. That's the problem that we're having with the salt dome on the Chico Aquifer. We know that on April of this year, Mr. Landry signed a letter of emergency declaring that we have a problem with that salt dome. If it penetrates that aquifer, it contaminates that aquifer permanently. You lose it. You have 48% of the state of Louisiana now out of water. Your only recourse, your only fallback is Toledo Bend for this region. All of the refineries, you're not going to have water. And if they sell that water, they're putting it in Toledo Bend. They're selling all of the water. So therefore, if they sell all of the water, everybody down south below the dam, when that pond goes dry and there's no water there, you guys are going to say, hey, what about saltwater intrusion? What about our salt marshes? What about our refineries and everything? The investors are going to look at you and say, go talk to your governor. Go talk to whoever, because we bought this water. The compact simply states also in here that it says that you cannot draw down off of the water that's in Toledo Bend unless it's there, unless it's available for the drawdown. So when you're in a drought, you can't draw down because they're allowed to take, I believe it's 1 million acre feet on Texas and 1 million acre feet in Louisiana. That's our legal right to take that off of Toledo Bend. But you can only do that when the water's available. When you put that pipe in that water, you can never, never, never shut that valve off, because you're going to have people that are going to turn on their faucet at the house, and they're going to expect water to wash their dishes or whatever, to get a drink of water, to wash their clothes, and you have to provide that water after that pipe has been put in. Point made. The state of New Mexico ran out of water because there was a drought. The state of Texas sued them. The judge told them, I don't care what you do, you will provide the state of Texas the water that you agreed to provide them for, which required the state of New Mexico to go buy water at a higher price to provide to the state of Texas over the amount of money that they were already getting from Texas. So it cost them to sell water to Texas. And that's the potential that we look at. How many times have we been in a drought? The water's going to go away at some point. Mother Nature does it all the time. I've seen pictures of where people were driving their four-wheelers out in the middle of Toledo Bend because the drought had dried it up so much. It's just an act of nature. But if you sell the water, Texas is going to say, no, I got a contract. You go get that water from the Mississippi River, you get it out of the Red River, you take it from wherever you got to go get the water from, you put it in that pond because you agreed to give us that water. And what I'm telling you is it is so vitally important. You are our first line of defense. That's why I came here all the way from Florine. It's not about me. It's about the state of Louisiana. We all stand to lose. Everybody stands to lose in the state of Louisiana if Texas gets this sale. And also, we have legislators already in the process working from Texas with the state of Louisiana. Her name is Joanne Schaffner. We've been on the phone with her staff. They're working with our senators and representatives. They are working on stopping this sale. We are going to be eventually getting a law passed to stop all out-of-state water sales, just like the state of Texas. But at this point right now, we don't have that. I need you, I desperately need you to help us and sign a resolution stating that you will not agree to any out-of-state water sales from the state of Louisiana on the SRA.
There has been some discussion amongst us about this issue. It's a very, very serious issue. And to the best of my recollection, I don't know of one juror that was for the sale of the water. I believe we were all against it. Am I right?
I appreciate
my
that.
understanding,
Like-
Mr. Jenkins, that the parishes along the Sabine River is, it has to be a majority vote amongst the parishes.
Yes, sir.
Along the river, and I don't know of any parish that would vote against this. I've talked to several.
That's my point. So far, we have had only 2 jurors want to, 2,
And they must be in
just 2
Sabine
jurors,
Parish.
2 individuals,
That's individual jurors, not juries.
not the juries,
Yeah.
just 2 jurors, individuals that wants this sale. That's why I said it is important. I came here because the state of Louisiana cannot afford this sale, and I appreciate y'all making this stand. And like I said, we do need that resolution because we're going to be taking this to the governor's desk. The first thing that we're going to be doing is looking for an executive order stopping all out-of-state water sales, and then the law. Mr. Shammerhorn has already flipped and went from wanting the sale until I explained to him. We spent many conversations on the phone, and finally he understood, not listening to SRA, but listening to what's fact and understanding he hasn't been given all the information. The numbers that the SRA is giving you is from an annual yield. Under an annual yield, yes, the water's there. But when it comes down to a day-to-day consumption, the water is not there. We have not had any water on Toledo Bend that made any significant difference in the level of the lake in over 6 weeks. That's why I'm telling everyone, and it's just to inform everybody, and I appreciate y'all. I really do, because you are our first line of defense. I keep telling everyone that you need to know this information, and that's why my wife and I and the others that are on this, we have been telling everybody, please go. And folks, same to y'all, please go to Save Toledo Bend Water and join us. We are 3,000 strong so far. The word is getting out, and we appreciate everything that you do. I don't know, again, I don't know anything about politics. I don't know how this works, but if I can get that resolution, gentlemen, I would really appreciate it.
Do you have a draft resolution?
I do not have a draft resolution.
I have Vernon
She does.
Parish's.
She
Okay.
has Vernon Parish's resolution. We would be glad to share that with you. Again, we're being very transparent about everything that we have also. All of this documentation, whatever you haven't received, if y'all need any of this information, I will be glad to give it to you, or you can get it off of the Facebook page.
Mr. Al, I do have one favor. I don't know where you're going with this paper here, but you got me quoted in here saying for every inch of water drops, 3 feet of saltwater intrusion. I'm just really not that smart to say. So if you don't mind, I would like that corrected a little bit. I did say for every inch of water we lose from the north, hurts us from saltwater intrusion, which is a factual statement.
My apologies then.
No.
I will get that corrected, because again,
And I have no problem with you quoting me as VP, Police Jury Fuel. That's fine.
okay.
You got me a little too technical there.
Well, I apologize. Again,
I'll make that correction.
y'all have to understand too, I've learned all this stuff in the last 90 days.
I can tell you taught me more than 45 minutes on my back porch with me and you talking than I knew about. So I appreciate you taking this and moving it forward.
But the information is there, and we thank y'all.
Okay. We're gonna need an add-on for this?
Would you like for us to take the draft resolution and we'll run it through legal and we could consider it in November? Is November sufficient for you?
Whenever it's possible for y'all, I'm so grateful.
If it's okay with you, Mr. President, we'd like to wait till November.
Is time an issue with you?
No, sir, time is not an issue with me, because like I said, actually what we're doing is if we get a rough draft, what we're doing is we are getting with the legislators now. I speak with Senator Alan Seaball on Wednesday. We're gonna start presenting these letters from the senator and the representatives that we've already received from them, telling them that there's no way that these committees are gonna give you the authorization to sell the water, and that's what we're looking for. I'm also gonna go in there, and we've already got 3 resolutions from the jurors, so that he understands he's gotta stop promoting the sale.
We can have it, we'll let our legal look at it and do it in November, but,
That's fine.
coming from Vernon, I mean, I feel pretty good about it.
Yeah, like I said, that's perfect. Like I said, whatever y'all can do to help us, because
Sorry. Could you do a vote today and then just draft the resolution?
I mean, legislative session isn't until April, so I think we'd feel better, and our district attorney would feel better if we are able to thoroughly vet the resolution, make sure that it's drafted with Cameron Parish in mind.
Right.
You know, what the needs are for Vernon Parish.
Okay,
So we
give
would
you-
just like to take our staff, you know, have at least a week with it. Our next meeting is in an hour, so we don't have time to actually draft the
I
resolution.
think probably one of the differences between, the other parishes and Cameron is, we do have commercial fishermen on the,
yes,
you know.
and that's why I said it's gonna drastically interfere with all that. But, again, like I said, we appreciate what y'all are doing. We have, Beauregard is actually the one that is really being intricate in the details of their, letter to stop their resolution. Mr. David Morgan and we talked. The way they do it in Beauregard is I was there 6 hours. We just go committee adjourn, until they voted on it that night. And I talked with legal, I talked with all the jurors, answered all the questions through the day, and then they actually made the resolution that night. But Mr. Morgan said, we're gonna notify everyone. And he said that's from Washington down to the local jurisdictions at the SRA. So I'm just letting you know that as soon as I get that letter from Beauregard, I will provide that information to y'all as well. That way, again, we're not hiding anything. We want everybody to know we are the people trying to help the people. So we're not gonna hide nothing. We're not gonna try to say, oh, this is, we're gonna give everybody the resolutions.
I don't think any of us, I don't believe any of us is in favor of selling our water to Texas.
We have
Plus my place at Toledo Bend wouldn't be real good without the water next to it.
Exactly. My brother told me, he said, Al, right now you have a house on the lake. If they sell this water, he said, you're gonna have a house on the hill.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
We're dried up with that water. We have a lot on the agenda, but I do want to ask you this. You had mentioned a while ago about a end around way for Texas to get this water, if I understood what you were saying right. Are you talking about the possibility of a third party buying the water instead of the state of Texas? Well, in that respect, I would suggest that the resolution or the thing that the police jury adopts in November, I won't be here, that it says no out-of-state sales or third-party sales out of the state of Louisiana or third-party sales. Well, that involves a lot of things, but we have to be careful about how they do go end around on this
Right.
water sale.
Because that was one of the things, but the numbers didn't add up as far as if let's say an entity in the state of Louisiana was to buy the water.
Right.
And then
right.
ship it across to the state of Texas.
Correct, that's what I'm talking about, yeah.
Mr. Morgan assured me that would be the same thing as selling the water to the state of Texas. Or as it is right now, it's Aqueduct Partners or PNC Bankers. That's who the individuals are that actually want it, which is actually 12 lawyers down in Austin, Texas is who this is. They're the investment people that want to get this water going. But he was saying that even if doing these end around would cost them in the end, if you say no out-of-state water sales, that means you got to leave the water in to support the state of Louisiana. But again, like I said, I'm not here. I'm not the I'm not the legal mind to make those decisions. You know what I mean? That would be up to the legal staff and whoever. I want to let y'all know that we're going to provide all of this information for you, and as soon as I get the information from Mr. David Morgan, I will make sure to get you that information immediately, because I'm telling you, they're trying to sell this water. I mean, they're desperate to sell this water. And I also said, why would people be trying to sell this water for 30 years? These people's been on that board, has been on there for almost 30 years. Why would they be doing that if there was not an ulterior motive? If the people had told me time and time and time again, slapped my hand and said, don't sell this water, what purpose would I have for intentionally going against the will of the people who they're supposed to be being in service to, and still try to sell this water? Something is wrong. Something is desperately wrong. I can't prove it yet, but we haven't turned over all the leaves yet. So, and I have also made the statement, and I'll say it again, the board members and Warren Founds has to be removed. They have to, because they just keep trying to sell the water. They're not looking outside the box. I've given Warren Founds and some of the other board members a lot of information that they could use to diversify, to make income if they need income. But again, I keep saying, but you've got $25 million just sitting in the bank. You don't need the money.
Well, really, I'm hoping all the jurymen goes against it, but to answer your question, we're not voting today, but you do have the assurance that's on record. We're all against it. The police jury, Cameron Parish Police Jury is against itself.
Thank
of
you.
the water. Yeah.
Thank y'all so much.
Thank you, Mr. Jenkins.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Y'all have a wonderful day.
Thank you. Thank you for coming.
Mr. President, before you move on to the green cards, we do have Mr. Bradley in the audience. He would like to approach you guys to talk about an agreement that needs to be signed. Bradley?
Oh, Mr. Bradley, come on.
Katie kind of confused me there for a minute. No, years past, we had a lease agreement on parish property for our shooting sports group, and the state's now requiring we have something actually signed and in signature. This is for the property that's located behind the parish barn in Grand Lake, where we utilize for shooting sports. It's just waiving all liability, and then if y'all do decide to kick us off, y'all have the right to kick us off. And and y'all do. This is the map where it's located.
It's in the packet, Mayor. In the packet? No, this is
Waiving liability.
Insurance wise. So all that liability comes to us.
Okay.
Yeah. As property owners, y'all don't have no liability. I wouldn't have no liability, so.
So this is time sensitive, so the staff is requesting that you do this as an add-on.
Okay. If y'all have any more questions about it, I mean, so Mr. Sam's familiar with the property where we shoot at. We're actually have our first practice next weekend, so.
Kind of surprised we didn't have that in place before.
It was, yeah, whenever we were shooting behind the mosquito control barn, it was there. But then when we moved after the storm, and then, so, we just never put pencil to paper, so.
It works really well, I think.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Towle?
So good morning. Wanted to take the opportunity to introduce a new assistant DA that we've hired. Max, stand up, please.
Hey.
Wasn't expecting this. So Max Guthrie is going to be working with us. You can tell from his last name, his family's a longtime family of South Cameron, and he lives in the Sweet Lake area. And we're glad to have him aboard to help us and helping you all in the public with all your needs. So welcome, Max. Last thing is an update. So I have gone around to some of your boards, giving a presentation, just educating your boards on ad valorem taxes, their proposition, what the people vote on. In the world of consolidation discussion, I thought I'd at least start educating the public about just basic ad valorem taxes and make sure your boards understand the basic concepts. I've been to the mosquito board, the library board. I'll be going to the Lower Cameron ambulance a week from Thursday, and others, so forth and so on. So I tell you that, so if I'm in your neighborhood, or if the public is wanting to know about these, check with your local boards, and we'll be there. The public's welcome to come and listen to the presentations, about 15 minutes, 20 minutes at the most, and then questions, we take questions and try to do our best to answer that. Just want to let the public know we're out there doing that. And we'll be in your neighborhood over the next few weeks and months. So, anything else?
Thank you, sir.
Thank y'all.
All right, anything, Kenny? You got some more green cards?
I know you had a bunch, I would love the housekeeping.
Actually, just a couple, Mr. Bobby Milner.
Good morning. I know we're short on time, so I'll be very brief. I wanted to speak about, in opposition to the closing of roads at Rutherford Beach. I submitted my comments via email, so, I don't have a whole lot to add to what was in my email. I hope you all got a chance to read. I understand there were several emails sent in. I would just like to say that, taking away access is something that should be taken very seriously. We've lost access to the Jetty Park Pier to Venture Global, as you all know. It sounds like we're going to lose access to part of Broussard Beach Road to Venture Global. Mother Nature has taken away access. Hurricane Laura took away access from Rutherford Beach to the Mermentau River. There's an impassable washout. Going the other way, there's the washout between Rutherford and Calcasieu is passable at times depending on the tide, but Hurricane Laura kind of did a number on that too. So, I would just ask your consideration and a no vote against taking away. The last thing we need to do is take away access from ourselves. I would ask for a no vote about taking away any more access, and I will yield to Dana. I think is next, probably on the green card. She's probably a much better speaker than I am, and we share the same concerns. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Tom.
Hey, Mr. Tom, can we get some advice from you? Because I spoke with a lot of these people over the two roads, and the parish's concern is West Avenue is about 30 to 40 feet long between the intersection and high tide. Cameron Drive is mostly how it runs into the water. The goal ain't abandoning the roads. We're literally abandoning what is now water and beach. What is the legality of what does the state own? Because we've been looking with Road and Bridge. They're claiming, the state's saying 150 feet from the mean high tide or something to that nature. Is there anything, because at the end of the day, to me and my thoughts, it would be going from parish property to state property, which is public.
I don't know if the parish has any property. Do we have any property out there?
Just our right of ways.
Yeah, the right of ways. So it's the right of ways, which are the roads you're considering abandoned.
Correct.
Otherwise, it's either private property or state
Well,
property, generally speaking.
Well, just to kind of get to the initial problem, I know each landowner has concerns and think the jury's doing it for the people that owns the property, but this is my concern, and, one couple I did meet, they painted the bigger picture. Just say, you can see right here, that's West Avenue, that's the beach from the intersection. The landowners on the beach, and not necessarily the land that owns that, but a lot of the camps put up them poles and a sign to deter the people from using the beach that you normally say at Rutherford Beach, because I think in theory, all these roads wasn't beach accessible. They was built for a subdivision. I think back in the day, the subdivision didn't even want people riding four-wheelers or the public actually utilizing the roads except for the subdivision. But long story short, they accessed them, they used them as access. But the issue I'm having is it washed out enough. West Avenue, they're not going, say, the landowners are saying between high tide and low tide, that's where the public needs to be. The rest is private property. But even on West Avenue, before they even get into that point, they're taking a left and driving across what people think's private property. And then going down Cameron Drive, there's some 4x4s up with some roping. Just say if we keep Cameron Drive right now at high tide, you could barely pass, say, a dually truck at high tide. And I presume probably a month or two, just from doing a lot of work out there and looking at it, it's gonna be to that 4x4. At what point in time do we push it back to access? Because we was looking at the middle road, I think might be Calcasieu, because it goes straight with the rest of the beach that's washed out. You know, because we really don't want to get the state to get involved and come and because I don't think we'll like that outcome too much.
So there's a lot to unfold there. So,
See,
I'll say generally speaking, the state owns up to the high tide, basically.
Yeah.
150 foot mark, I'm not sure.
I think that's right.
Up to 150, plus 150?
I don't think it's that much, but
Yeah. It's high tide, basically, generally speaking. So here's, I'm not knowing the names of the roads and particulars, here's what so that yellow line of the picture we're looking at now.
It used to be Cameron Drive.
It extends west.
Correct.
It goes into what is now what I consider state-owned water bottoms, the Gulf. If you were to abandon that road from the high tide going west, which technically you probably don't own anyway, or we don't have, even the property owners who owned it at one time don't own it anymore, the state owns it. And your access to the beach becomes the next north road, the road to the north, what is that called?
I think it's Calcasieu Drive.
Okay.
We was in
So
discussion.
Calcasieu, now, so if you abandon, the yellow line and you go to the next one up, well, then you've got between the yellow line and the next road is private property, generally speaking.
Yeah, because if you look,
So then you don't have the authority to allow the public, even though you have a right-of-way there and the public can use the right-of-way, the public road, so to speak, they can't cross private property to get to the beach.
correct, and
And
see,
I don't know how to
that's,
fix that.
and that's another thing, because looking at it, the way it's plaqued, and I see they got the gentleman from the Rutherford estate, we was still looking to see, just say if we abandon the road, does it goes back to the Rutherford estate or the landowners, because it was all plaqued out for a subdivision?
It generally goes back to the contiguous landowners, so whoever's next to the road.
Okay, 'cause
So I don't know that, again, the dynamics, the problems, the particular, I know there's a lot of concern, obviously, but you have a road coming from the north going south that dead ends into the beach, so to speak.
correct.
And from there, the public can disperse east or west along the beach to get to wherever they want to go. So, if they were to use one of those roads north of the beach, again, I don't know, we don't have the authority to, let's say they park on that road to the north, again, how do they get across private property to the beach? I don't know if that helps or hurts the problem, but, I don't know that we can fix or answer all the questions.
Well, I know what we've been running to right now, and I think historically, Rutherford Drive was the access point to the beach. You enter the beach there.
Yeah.
We have a state a contract, a state lease agreement or whatever, that actually ties us to me, our only access point to Rutherford Beach that we could legally say we have. And then when you hit the beach, you go east or west. And the issue we have when you're going not east but west is a lot of these landowners not wanting you cross even where the high tide is. And me and Mr. Alex, and before it was me and Mr. Shane, we cleaned a lot of stuff up and poles from the old houses and camps. because it was public concern. And now we got the roads. I mean, just say you're our legal counsel from a legal standpoint. I don't think we want 8 foot of sand on top of our road if we're going to keep it, in my opinion. And then if we take it off, then when it's high tide, it'll be underwater. So we're looking to get out of the legality, in my opinion, and take off the responsibility of keeping up what was beach and water now.
I understand their concern. I don't know. It's a policy decision of whether you want to continue to maintain a road to the one that, again, goes east and west, that's yellow in the picture. Again, that's up to y'all. I don't know.
How do you maintain a road like that?
I don't. Yeah, I try to stay out of the policy-making business. And again, what I envision is there's still access through Rutherford Road, Drive, whatever it's called.
Correct.
Head ends into the beach, and the public can go east or west from there. So, yeah, again, it's up to y'all.
Well, and that's why hopefully with the days to come, we could maybe address it a little more. I know it started out as early on, we was contacted because the parish wasn't keeping it up. They had sand on the roads, drainage problems. So we started hacking away at that, and then it was in this corner, mainly where that first dot you come up to from the intersection, right there is the issue. Just say if we keep Cameron Drive, probably in 2 months, you can go down to Cameron Drive, but you're gonna be landlocked by the wooden posts and the ropes. And then the lady that owns on the corner right there, she well told me, it sounded like she pretty much don't even want the people on her property to be in the water or swim. But the issue is, if you go down Rutherford Drive, hit the beach, and you're on the beach, to me, it's public property. You can go east or west. When you get to that corner, we have an issue of the people said they pay taxes on the property, and they don't want people passing there because that's what's causing the property to erode away is a lot what I'm getting at. But that's why if you look, all them camps utilize the middle road and got it rolled off. You could see where it goes straight with the beach and they want to access towards that way. To me, that's only makes sense to, if we can get some help from the landowners and the people and find a good solid ground to have beach access and not just the one spot.
I don't, again, know how many landowners there are going west from the Rutherford Road. To me, some discussion in the committee and landowners. Again, the road is public, and that public road would dead end on the west somewhere, and you're wanting, my impression, are you then wanting to allow the public off of that?
We was looking, we own, I think it's 1,900 and something feet, and it goes almost to that blue building that showed in the picture. And then they might have a lot or 2 lots, and then it picks up, I think it's the Rutherford Estate. They pretty much own all the way to what would be the beach if you follow, just go straight from there. And it sounds like they're in agreement to maybe talking a little bit. It might be the 1 or 2, and then who actually owns where the right of way is.
Something, again, this is just purely, speculating. If you go west to that blue structure, and then there would be some 20-foot access point to get to the beach from there, so that the public would at least have a road to get there instead of coming right off of that Rutherford Drive and going to the beach.
Correct.
Again, that would be subject to discussions with the property owners in that area to get to the end of that public road, and then where do you go from there? Where does the public go from there, and getting some permission and some access for the public to get on the beach from that point.
And another thing, maybe just while you're up here, a lot of it is now that if we find out the laws or how many feet or where the state owns, do we have to abandon it? Does it automatically go to the state? And do we just stop upkeeping it because it's state property, or do we need to abandon it?
It would, if it's the states, it's the states. It doesn't matter whether we claim it or not. We have communicated with somebody at the State Division Administration who manages these leases in these beach areas, so we can talk to them about, that question of what happens to a public road that gets taken over by the Gulf, basically.
Correct. I mean, if we don't need to abandon it because we already basically lost the rights to having the road, I don't see where that would be a problem. It was just, going out there looking, cause we had culverts, roads, I mean, all that stuff was still there. And, it was brought to our attention, and we've been out there trying to work to remove it in case somebody runs into it or something. To me, we're kind
I
of
would
liable.
suggest that I communicate with that agency, that department of the state, tell them, send them some pictures of what historically was a subdivision were public roads, public right-of-ways, and get their thoughts on where do they claim that they own, where do they, the state claims that they own at this point. What do we do about the infrastructure, like you're talking about culverts and whatnot that may be out there that, just get some guidance from them and how we can work with them on how to address some of your.
Okay. Well, I just know that was a few of the people, because I've been out there pretty regularly talking, and a lot of it's being portrayed, we're doing away with roads, and in my opinion, we're doing away with what is now beach and water. But that was just some of their questions and concerns. So moving forward, maybe we can work. I know Alex been in contact with the state over it because we was running into that. But at some point, just say if we keep the road, just say Cameron Drive. At some point, that either the landowner's got to move the fence, or you know what I mean, or we can't pass. So.
Right, yeah, that's what I'm saying. That takes some discussion and.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of discussion, because it got brought up to fix that issue right there and get the sand off the roads to where, we're up keeping them maintaining. But I think there's a lot of discussion needs to go back into it.
Hey, just very quickly, the owner of the Far West Camp, Lisa McDonald, and I need to speak to her more about this, but she has tentatively offered to give up, 20 or 30 feet on the very front of her lot, which would allow the cutting of that corner away from that power pole and back up onto the beach, just for what it's worth. I mean, I think there's a lot of loose ends that we need to talk about, work through.
We gotta look at it from a police jury standpoint. We have our road and it's where it's at. Once you get off our right of way, say back to the north on Miss Lisa's property, that would be between Miss Lisa and the state and whoever's passing or whoever legally owns it. We're just trying to get rid of our right of ways that's in the water and where the beach are. It's not to stop access.
I mean, she would formally donate that to the jury or to the parish or to the state or whoever gets it. I mean, she's willing to do that so that, access can continue on Cameron Drive. Now, there's a camp owner there that we haven't talked much about, really. Most of the camp owners there, their property runs from Cameron to Calcasieu. But there's one, Johnny Pruitt, who is limited to Cameron Drive access. He doesn't run straight through. He doesn't own a lot north of him.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's a consideration how he would access his camp, without.
Correct.
So I'm not trying to belabor the point. I'm just, it's something that a lot of people are concerned about and trying to work through and offer compromises. So we appreciate y'all's help.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Miss Dana Hoffmeyer?
First of all, I want to thank Mark for meeting my husband and I out there the last week before. Because you did clear up quite a bit of stuff. And just going back to this, and you don't have my pictures, do you? Or, it's okay if you don't. Just the map itself. While we're on Cameron Drive, it was just on the email. While we're on Cameron Drive, I know the verbiage that's written in the proposal is to abandon it at the intersection.
Correct.
Of West Avenue, as well as the West Avenue South. So and I completely understand the liability aspect for the parish. However, if you could reconsider maybe the abandonment at Lisa McDonald's property versus the intersection on both ends.
Would that be, how far would that be from the intersection going west?
There's probably 3 to 4 property owners after, the intersection itself. 1, 2, 3, 4, at least.
So it's
I don't know how many
it's
lots.
well over the large dune there.
Well, we,
It's not the dune, it's way before the dune going to the west, okay? We're talking about the east-west street, Cameron Drive. Okay, so it's way before that. And, you know, I don't know how those property owners feel, but, you know, cut it off where your problem starts.
Well, I know, it's worded like that, and we actually tabled that from last meeting, because we was
Okay.
gonna look into getting surveys for those concerns, that you stated.
Right.
And the biggest thing was to find out where the state property starts, which we still, I don't think, made too much heads or tails yet.
Right. well,
Especially with new concerns, especially you and your husband was the one that brought up the biggest concern, was being able to go east and west, even if you was on the beach.
Yeah.
And I think Cameron Drive, with discussion, hopefully in the future with the Rutherford Estate and that, and with legal and the state officials, I think we still got to put a pin in Cameron Drive, because we have a few legal barriers and concerns that still needs to be addressed before we was, in my opinion.
Right, because the laws are just so unclear about what can that property owner do and not do at that dead end.
Correct.
Because in basic real estate laws, it, of course, like, you know, like Mr. Tom said, it reverts back to the landowners, you know, the bordering properties.
Yeah.
So any property owners past that point have to obtain their own right-of-ways. By law, from what I've seen in the real estate world, because they gotta hire their own attorney, they have to petition the courts. It's very costly for anyone to try to get that done, and it takes a long time. So I'm just asking that this get tabled until those questions can get answered.
Correct.
You know, as to whether that person can put a fence or a gate, or, you know, what's the laws to stop that access, until you guys can further research. There we go. The Zoom is better on the smaller one, that one and
Yeah, I could see it was platted to be subdivisions, and a lot of these places, I don't know if you can see that, Mr. Tom, it was platted to be a subdivision, and where you can see where the roads would be if the subdivision continued to grow. Does those private property owners give consent for the roads if they was to get extended, or is that something in the subdivision? That was, you know.
So, if that is recorded at the courthouse, which I assume it is.
Correct.
By the recordation of that at the courthouse, that person, whoever developed that, owned the property before it was subdivided, or before that was put at the courthouse, is granted public access across over those identified roads. Is that fair?
That's correct.
That's correct.
That's what I
I can still
interpret.
pass my property class. So yeah, so those are public right-of-ways for the public, because that's recorded at the courthouse.
Yeah, so just say if we abandon.
Doesn't mean that we've adopted, I don't know if we've adopted the road.
No, because it stops, and they got roads way to the north if it ever progressed it, as you can see how it's plotted, that I think the Rutherford State still owns. So my biggest question was, just say if we abandon a road, even though where I think we're abandoning it, it's already state property, does it goes to the landowners, because the landowners say it's adjacent to the road and they pay taxes and they're stopping access, is what I'm getting back.
Well, it depends on it.
Yeah, how it,
Typically, the landowner gets that land back, or it's contiguous.
correct.
Or if it's underwater, the state would claim.
Yeah.
That would be the,
If,
I don't know, I mean, that's generally speaking, but I'm particular, I don't know if it's underwater or not, so I don't.
So with some concerns, and maybe in the future, we might need a little assistance on.
Well, I think I need to talk to the state about what their state's position on some of these roads are, whether they consider now being owned by the state, as that high water mark continues to erode and grow further into this subdivision, so to speak. You know, what do we do about the public's access to the beach area? If you get into a situation where someone claims to be the property owner and they own all the way up to that high water mark, the state owns up, or they own, you know, from the land to that, you know, where the water would meet the private property, then technically there's no more public beach.
Correct.
So then the public would want access, maybe the private owner doesn't want that access out on their property.
And that's what we're running into in that little corner between Cameron Drive and West Avenue,
And the
unfortunately.
only thing that we control is that whatever it's, whether it's 20 or 40 feet right away. The the rest of it is between the state and the
Correct.
property owner, the private property owner.
Yes, sir.
I think it's two different topics. I think we have our interest of maintaining the roads and having that. And then there's another interest of the landowners in trying to access the beach. That's two totally different.
Yeah, I mean,
I know that they're
The
utilizing.
public trying to access the beach over private property.
Correct, and I know that they're utilizing our easement, but our easement doesn't even exist anymore due to erosion for the most part.
to me, for the most part, a lot of places and parishes and states, they don't even want access to the beach to drive. Again, I firmly believe that the Cameron Drive, and I know I talked with the people that created the subdivision, those roads was never for beach access, it was for the subdivision. And I still think Cameron Drive is the one that way. I know a lot of people talked about fire trucks and ambulance and that. If somebody got hurt along all the beach, I'm almost positive they're gonna go to the main road and go east or west or whatever it may be. But
Mr. Tom, if the, like in the case of that, what was that, Cameron Drive, the yellow line?
yeah,
Yeah.
So in the case where it's now clearly state property, really our right of way is gone because we had a right of way with a private landowner, and now that land is state property.
That's a fair statement, it's wherever that water, wherever the tide is taken over.
So we don't even have a right of way anymore.
That would be fair, yes.
I guess.
Where that line is.
That's unfortunate of all this, because if you end up calling the state,
Right.
probably gonna be a lot more people with their feelings hurt than there is now.
Correct.
To find out that the state says that's our problem.
Correct,
Yeah, if at all possible.
and-
Get them involved, and it'd be.
And that's what I was trying to do, and meeting with a lot of people. I hate to say it, a lot of people, they got the concern, but it all goes back to they either dislike this one or this or that. And if we, I guess what Mr. Ronald was getting to, Mr. Tom, not to take too much of your time, but basically those roads, if it's state property, then technically we don't have to vote to abandon it. We just, just say road and bridge.
I would prefer that you abandon the roads that you don't have access to.
Okay, so we.
Have one access in?
Yeah. The roads that you don't have access, that you can't maintain, I would abandon, because again, we're talking about state and private property. The only rights that we have to any of that is where the roadways are.
Correct.
Everything else is private and state.
Yep. Okay,
Except for the
I appreciate that.
that we have.
Well, and I think in the long run, or long term, this is gonna continue to be a problem, so, it just is, we all know that.
Well, this is actually not a new problem. Constable
Right.
Beach and Holly Beach, I think
All
we
the
lost
same
two
thing.
roads out there. I mean, it's unfortunate, but it's
Right.
happened.
Yeah, and it's just respect to what's the laws, what does the public need to know after this happens, if it's gonna happen. In regards to abandoned roads in general, because we own property on abandoned road in the same area way to the east. We just found out it was abandoned, we didn't know, it doesn't bother us, but with the beach access, if that ends up to the west side, if that ends up being close to the public for whatever reason, we lose, beachgoers in general, lose 13 miles of beach access, basically, that, a lot of people use on a regular basis, and it leaves us about 1.25 miles, to access.
And there's been a lot of conversation on, like, people talking about, I don't want you on my property.
Yeah.
Well,
And it's
Beach
not.
property.
What
It's
you
beach
got?
property. I think that's
Yeah.
gonna be a legality fight themselves. They can't
Forever.
really stop people from going up and down the beach.
Right.
What you gotta look at, we're getting rid of two roads, we're looking to get rid of two roads that was for a subdivision that's no longer there. People's using them as beach access.
Right.
A lot of the landowners in these corners don't want people on their property, period, and I
Right.
get that, and maybe if I own it there. But the ordeal is, and this is looking for the best interest of Cameron Parish and actually for the beachgoers. You drive down Rutherford Drive, then you hit a state leased property that our beach board has leased from the state. You're on Rutherford Beach, and you're free to go east or west and utilize the whole beach,
Right.
regardless of these two roads or not. The beach access will always be there, as far as my opinion or the state's probably would be concerned. And again, in my opinion, I don't think we really want to get the state involved. So I've been meeting with everybody, trying to find a happy medium, and just say, if we're working together and people truly want a road access beach on the other side, to me, it only makes more sense
to create one of them other roads that stops there and work with the people and the landowners to get a new, better access if they truly want the access. Because right now they're wanting West Avenue and Cameron Drive, those two roads are almost gone whether we abandon them or not fully.
Right, yeah, and I agree, again, and the same thing I'm sure happened to some degree when Gulf Drive itself
Correct.
disappeared, because that was the beach access, okay? So, since erosion, of course, there's no beach access at all to the west end, because it's eroded and there's just all the debris and all that stuff. So the only way to get to the beach to the west is on Cameron Drive. That's it. If we could be still riding the beach, this wouldn't be the problem. So it's, again, a liability.
Well, the issue is in those corners. I know a lot of people won't understand because they wasn't physically out there looking at it.
Yeah.
Or by the pictures, but the legality, a lot of these landowners don't want people on their property.
Right.
And at the end of the day, that's it.
And
Unfortunately, to me, it's state property, and they can go east or west. It's just right now,
Yeah.
if you're going east or west and they're out there, they're going
Right.
to stop you and give you a good chewing or whatever.
Well, exactly,
When
and then
I think
we
that,
have to
you
take
know,
those issues to the state then, right? Because y'all are out. So.
well, I wouldn't say we're out because we have a beach board and that, and we work committedly. It's just, this is starting to be an issue. We're trying to get out of it for the liability purposes and stuff because it's just not there. Well, then we started a whole nother battle of, oh, we can't pass and the landowners don't want. And really and truly, the police jury really don't want to get involved with civil matters, so to speak. But at the end of the day, I know me as a juror being over there, I want to make sure that the people can come and go as they please east or west.
Right.
It might not be as convenient if we done away with these two spots, but at the end of the day, I know I'm going to do everything I can to make sure we traveling east and west, and hopefully we can work with everybody and get a new access
Right.
that will be nice and beneficial.
Yeah, and I think that'd be fantastic. Just think that that's gonna take a good while to accomplish.
I think if we're all on the same page, I think it would be fairly quick, in my opinion, but we would need, probably a lot of working together and hopefully people to achieve the one ultimate goal is to have a nice place to access the beach and not something that's gonna be
Right.
washed away in 3 months. That
Right.
probably will be
We
this.
just don't wanna be cut off until that happens, potentially.
Yes, ma'am.
So, switching back to West Avenue, that's the north-south street, the proposition to close that one. So that came from.
Which one is that, man?
Okay, so I don't know if you can zoom in to help them see it better or
One
not.
right there north and south.
Yeah, there you go. So West Avenue, north and south. Okay, and the only other north and south is the beach road coming in, okay, from 82. So West Avenue, the proposition is to abandon at the intersection of West Avenue and Cameron Drive, okay? And that, from what I understand, comes from property owners as well as the issue of the water drainage problem on Cameron Drive, between West Avenue and the beach road.
Correct.
Correct, okay. So since then, you guys have added rock in that low spot, because that water's been there since Laura and Delta. I mean, it's been there for 5 years. But we had other accesses around it, so it wasn't a big deal. So since you guys have rock, we really haven't seen a whole lot of water accumulation. And when there is some, it drains off pretty quickly. Now, you guys are putting culverts in, which is, this whole drainage thing is gonna be great for the whole area there. With the addition of the culverts on the north-south beach drive, on the west end of the beach drive, and if y'all still plan on cleaning out the laterals, the east-west laterals, I don't think the water accumulation over West Avenue area is gonna be an issue at all.
Well,
Whether
Can
it
you
was
switch it back to
initially-
the,
what you gotta look at, it's 40 feet. 40 feet, and that's giving it feet from the high tide line to the intersection. We mapped it out. Mr. Alex, you remember how much it was from
I
the
didn't.
intersection to the water? It was like, what, 120 feet maybe, if that?
From West Avenue to the.
Yes.
It was 80 foot.
Oh, 80 foot, from the intersection to the water.
Right.
So we're abandoning it because a lot of water does come from there. And we're hoping to build the dune back up and stop access, or not really stop access, just be done with it. But I guess the whole thing in a nutshell is, it ain't but 40 or 30 feet to the high tide line. That is beach now. That's not our road. And for us to keep it, in my opinion, I would like to see it to the blacktop if it's one of our roads passable. I know there's a lot of stuff ain't been done, but it's to better serve the community and keep up what's actually there. Because y'all want us to keep roads as parish roads that they're beaches and water now. These two places are beaches and water.
Well, and again, I understand the liability of the abandonment on both ends of that, I really do. But again, back to, it's gonna fall back on the laws of the state, you know, of property owners of who can and cannot stop that access, whether it's state or, you know, individual or, you know, depending on the shoreline laws that we all talked about before. And building a berm there, like you talked about, that will probably stop the access either way if you build that berm, you know, whether somebody puts a fence or not. But by building the berm to stop the high tide water flow on the holding on Cameron Drive, you know, I can see where to stop it there, but the land between West Avenue and the Beach Drive, that's all still low, so, I mean, it's gonna come in there, you know.
So just trying to understand, is it a convenience thing or accessing the beach?
It is convenient.
Because it's 1,900 feet. It's probably not even that far. It's probably 1,600 or 1,500 feet from Rutherford Beach Drive to the corner. There's beach access. Is it gonna be inconvenient for a few people? Probably. We're talking 1,600 feet. I mean.
Well, it's not as big of an issue as the Cameron Drive West End issue that we're having. It just would be nice to have it open, just because we all used it for 100 years. And I don't see, again, in my opinion on it.
Jenny, can you switch back to the satellite image?
Yeah.
Okay, no, I was just trying to more understand, because
Yeah, it's just,
to me, yes, it's not gonna be as convenient,
Yeah.
but at the end of the day, I mean, I don't know how the state laws or what, but,
right.
you know, it's being portrayed as we're stopping access. We have access, and we're
Right.
trying to, I guess, ramp up and make sure we do a better due diligence of keeping the roads without water and doing the most we can with what we got.
Right.
Well, and honestly, on that corner from when me and Mark went out there and looked at this, they got a God-given dune right there that's holding back a lot of water.
Yeah.
For us.
Yeah, on both ends, actually.
For if we was to cut through that, just say, let's pretend we do a great access and we cut through that, throw the levee up, get our road back.
Right.
Every high tide is gonna be bringing water all the way.
Oh, absolutely, and I'm not saying open that up at all. I'm just saying just leave it like it is.
Yeah, but
You know?
technically, even
But-
by state law,
Yeah.
the way that is, you're really not supposed to be crossing over that dune. I mean,
Well,
that's really.
state law, then, I mean, people shouldn't be crossing over us either, but.
That's what I'm
you know.
saying. No, a vehicle is not supposed to cross over a dune at all by state law. That's why the beach access down there is a permitted access.
Oh, okay, okay.
I mean, I know that everybody doesn't enforce it as hard as they
Yeah.
are, but you're really not supposed to be on the dunes unless you're walking.
Right, okay.
But no, it's just more of a concern, 'cause,
Yeah.
I mean, you can ask all the staff on paper, I mean, to me, it's the state's not.
And like,
We could surely hash through it, and hopefully we can all work together, because to me, the best thing is to all work together to coexist and get a new place to enter the beach to that side if it's absolutely a must. But it sounds like, just say if we keep Cameron Drive, they're literally, where Cameron Drive is now at the end of it and where West Avenue, I bet it ain't 300, 400 feet apart from each other.
I would say to the privacy of them landowners, they probably don't want that going out the west end either. I'm sure that they'd like to utilize the one out the front is what would come of that.
yeah, it's just not possible, you know, because of the debris and pilings and broken up concrete. You can't access the beach itself from West Avenue west at all, at the beach line. Correct? Yeah, because some of y'all stuff in there too.
Yeah,
So you
no,
can't-
we cleaned all that up. There's some
Yeah,
private
most of it
property
is.
owner stuff that they've
Yeah.
refused to move because they say
Yeah.
they passed taxes and got, but
Yeah.
that's what me and Mr. Alex and hopefully Mr. Tom will eventually address.
Okay.
And I really wish we didn't have to address that, because
Yeah.
I don't like getting involved with people's stuff and stuff like that, but it's gonna be an issue because right now, as it sits at high tide, you're right, you can't go over there because the property owners are not moving their stuff.
Yeah.
And, the whole purpose of these properties owners, they come in here talking about beach access, but they're withholding access from the public.
And it's staying in the water more and more.
And that's where it muddies the water up for me, cause I mean,
Yeah.
I get it from the landowner's perspective, but as a public official perspective and the police jury, it's time to flip over a rock over there to make sure we do have access. And that's gonna be one of my goals.
Okay. All right, well, I appreciate you guys'
Thank
time
you.
and consideration of all this.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Ms. Dana.
If y'all need something, don't hesitate to call Ms. Dana.
Yes, sir.
All right, so we need to add on, Mr. Bradley's,
Yes, add on for property use agreement, taking authority to sign property use agreement for each use.
and also, we got a speed limit change to add on. It's on, Road 4157 in Grand Lake. All right, everybody review the agenda.
Hey, Mr. President,
Yes, sir.
I'd like to make a statement.
Go ahead, sir.
I know we're running over on time, so I'm not gonna get into it. I had a prepared statement, but I wanna reiterate what Mr. Jenkins was talking about as far as the Chico Aquifer is concerned. The Chico Aquifer is our main drinking water source for 15 parishes. I know that Johnson Bayou is in the Chico Aquifer. I'm sure that most everybody in this parish is in the Chico Aquifer. There's laws to protect the drinking water in this state. But our government is usurping some of those laws to try to get and pull on this and put restrictions against the farmers from using the water. There was a bill that was in the House, in committee, and I think it was I think the farmers got together and got it stopped. And what they were gonna do was limit the amount of water the farmers could draw so that these AI centers could come in and draw all the water that they needed, okay? All I'm saying here is I wanna reiterate what he said. We need to protect that aquifer at all costs. And that CO2 sequestration is a danger to those aquifers. I want you to understand that in my statement, which I'll read at the budget meeting. It addresses that more. But I'm gonna ask you guys to support a resolution to the governor to request no more Class 6 wells in Cameron Parish until our jury and the people of this parish have a right to sit at the table and discuss what they want to do, where they're going to do it, how much they're going to do it going forward. Think about this. The governor met with several of these parishes the other day, and he made this statement. If you don't want it, you don't have to take it. If they don't take it, where do you think he's going to put it? He's going to put it in Cameron. Do we want to become a dumping site? Because CO2 has its own issues, but CO2 in the way they're going to put it in the ground becomes, to me, a hazardous waste. There's laws that protect us from putting hazardous waste in the ground. We need to stand up to the government and tell them that we want a seat at this table before you go any further. And I hope I get your support on that. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator. Creed.
I need to add to your list of things to do. Rutherford Beach squatters, I thought that was gonna be something. So there's people that are living out at Rutherford Beach. Came up about 6 or 8 months ago. It seemed to have gone away, but it's come back again. And the question that I've been emailed from your staff and others is, do you want to adopt an ordinance that prevents overnight camping, sleeping, whatever on public grounds? Or do you want to copy what the state does on their parks that allow it?
Or they own private property?
Well, it's either state or some of our leased property.
We're trying to
The
figure
last
it out.
thing, because I remember in the spring when it came up, I asked somebody to go out and they were on our leased property. So we had, but then then again, it kind of went away. But in the event that someone is, anyway, I don't need an answer from you, but I need to consider whether you just want no overnight camping, no oversleeping on public property, or do you want to allow it on some beach areas, whether it's 2 nights or 6 nights or 14 nights.
What does the state
The
do? Do
state's
they have something,
14.
maybe like a week or 2 week period?
State parks is 14, so Max, his first project Max did for me, he got it for me, it's 14 continuous days, then you've gotta leave for at least 7, and you can't do it, there's a limit to how much or every 30 days, so there's some restrictions, limitations, you got, but it's some mechanism to stop people from just squatting there and staying for as long as they want.
Yeah, cause
Seems to be
I
the-
think the main goal is we want people to come and camp at the beaches and come as they please,
Mr. Tom.
but I don't think that was the goal.
If they are in fact on state property, then there's already a state law in place for that.
Vagrancy, no vagrancy law?
It's not a state park, so it's not, and they're not no, we don't, look, if you don't,
But we can.
So the sheriff has issued citations for trespassing. There's a question whether that's applicable or not, or we can use, but we've done it. The next step would be, is for you to adopt an ordinance, say no overnight. Or if there is gonna be overnight camping, you gotta come get a permit for $5 or $10 or whatever. We monitor, we regulate, and if you go past that, then we have some provisions in place to.
Man, I don't support that.
That's fine.
On my end over there, these people come, they camp for a couple of days, spend the weekend, and they go home. But we've restricted these people enough. I don't think that stopping their access to the beach for a weekend is gonna kill anybody. I do have a problem with vagrancy. I do have a problem with people squatting.
That's the problem.
14 days is sufficient.
14 days would be sufficient.
Well, yeah, I don't think they need to be there any longer than a week, but, the problem with what we're talking about is like the vagrancy, the people that has gone there that has no place to go. They camp in trucks or old beat up camper trailer that they can't even haul off. We've had that problem. And then the regular residents, your regular residents is the one that's complaining about those people that's staying on the beach, or the regular residents at Rutherford Beach. Say, can y'all do something with these people? They've been here, we don't know about these people, and that's the problem, the vagrancy.
Yeah, but there's no, you've got no mechanism, you don't have anything that says they can do either or.
7 days they're overflowing their tanks.
All I'm asking is for some guidelines. Yes, if 7 days is the magic number, I don't care. 3 days, 5 days, 7 days, 14 days. The state has a state park. It says 14 days is the max. I think that's a lot, but I'll do it on 7 days and we'll go from there.
I think the biggest thing is, and quite a few of them's at Rutherford Beach, and now they got one at Broussard Beach now, that I'm seeing. It's not really to stop people from camping, it's with the very few, I could probably name 3 or 4 on hand that we've been getting complaints and dealing with. Cause I know some people come from all over the world. Sometimes they come down here 2 or 3 weeks camping. I run into people talking, but it's the ones that's building little shops and setting stuff up. And when we get complaints, this will have an avenue to address those concerns.
That's not camping.
No.
Well,
No.
our sheriff is an elected official too. I don't think he's running camping people off.
Correct. I think that'll probably be something that'll be very lenient for when we need to.
And it does become an enforcement, so you have these rules in place, and then it gives you an enforcement mechanism for those that overstay. They're welcome.
It'll basically be
That way.
more of a, if our phones are ringing and getting a complaint,
Yeah.
hey, look, let's get them to go enforce this.
Then we have something we can write them a citation. Yeah.
Yeah, that looks a little far to be camping.
I don't know if the
think
truck
that's
runs.
No.
But in fact, the state park is
Looks like
15 days, not 14, I misstated. But anyway, regardless.
I think that would be a good one to kind of copy and paste.
Well, we're gonna use that, yeah, we're gonna use that as a template, so I'll get it to you. Thank you.
You good with that, Mr. Sutton?
So,
You don't have any of this in Holly Beach,
Huh?
You don't have anything like this in
Well, we get rid of that.
Mr. Tom, you gonna work on that?
Yes.
You don't need to do
Y'all
anything?
gave me some guidance, I got it, yes.
Thank you, Mr. Tom.
All right, agenda review. Got any questions, Mr. Sonny?
Yeah, oh yeah, I got lots of questions. On the permits, D, at, I can't even pronounce it, Fruit Road, USA Land, what's that all about?
Let's see, they're drilling 72 geotechnical soil borings.
I mean, I read it, I just wonder
And-
what's the purpose of them doing that? It's gotta be further than that, somebody's paying for this for some reason, I'd just like to know what this is all about.
Okay, I think this is, this is for CP3, so they have to do all these soil borings in order to know what type of foundation designs for their future development.
Okay, so it's CP3?
Yes, sir.
That answers my question. And H, while you're up there, is that gonna be what, where's that, is that over there by?
That is north of the ferry,
At Oyster Bay?
Holly Beach, as soon as you get off the ferry.
Yeah,
To the north,
that's Oyster Bay, where the
Yeah.
line comes across?
mhm. It's actually in Gravity Drainage District 3.
Okay. M, I think we talked about M before, did you clear up that, where that is?
Yeah, you were correct.
Okay. That's on the Plant Road, they get the names mixed up sometimes.
Right.
And I think that's.
That's the one you tabled last month.
Yes, I think that's all I got. President, we're gonna table 13 and 14.
On 13, I would like to see, move forward with West Avenue. But, Cameron Drive, I would like to, just because West Avenue's almost all gone, Cameron Drive, I'd like to table until we could get further discussion and, clarity to at least keep a right of way, because, I mean, I don't think we need to table both of them, because we're talking they're probably 300 feet apart from entering the beach.
Now, Mark, on those two, we're still gonna maintain the road up to where it changes to the state?
Correct.
Okay, so there will be access, no private road, no private land between them and the beach, right?
Yeah.
I'm good with that.
So one of those options is actually Broussard Beach. So you, there's no Cameron Drive on that. You removed it from the agenda last month. So the only two that you're considering is the intersection of West Drive and Cameron Drive into the Gulf of Mexico
Yeah.
and Broussard Beach.
Yeah, because the only ones that's in my area is the first one west and Cameron. Where's Broussard and Gale and all that? That's over here in Cameron, ain't it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's Miss Southers.
Next to it.
That's that stretch that we just re-rocked there.
Yeah.
At the last police jury meeting, you removed it from the agenda and directed Alex to go and take a survey of the property and see exactly where the lot line you wanted to abandon it or consider it for abandonment, not the entire section. I think it was past the second camp, I think is what they directed.
You're talking about Cameron Drive? Yeah, we're
Yeah.
gonna wait on Cameron Drive. to
Yeah.
see
So
what-
that's not on the agenda
West,
or anything.
West Ave, yeah, but West Avenue from the intersection south.
Going into the Gulf.
yes.
That's what's on the agenda today.
Yeah, I would like to table Cameron Drive, because, we need to still discuss and see where we want to stop it and all that. But they're both on there.
Mr. President?
Yes.
One more question, this will be for Tom. Tom, on that Jake Break ordinance, are we ready to go forward with that?
I think so, I mean, I had a couple of emails adding.
Just so y'all know, I had a couple of places that asked for it when they heard it at the last meeting. So I've asked him to include Hollow Beach and then from the Johnson Bayou School about a mile, all the way through Johnson Bayou. And y'all, if y'all have places y'all don't want Jake raking noise, it'd be a good time to let him know.
Miss Katie, and on that, Jake, okay, go ahead, Mr. Tom.
So what I understand is what y'all originally had looked at last month for advertising did not include a mile east and west of Holly Beach and a mile east and west of Johnson Bayou High School. In essence, is what you asked us. So we've added that, so you need to advertise that again, because we've added more.
So we can go forward with this one and just advertise
So
another?
what you're gonna need to do, well, we haven't started advertising yet. This is to approve the draft for advertisement. When you get to number 24, you're gonna have to say what you wanna put in addition to what's on that draft.
Yes, so your draft, the draft you have before you doesn't include the ones that we added late.
Okay, so we'll do that.
Yes. I would thank the sheriff's office, because they help provide the mile marker for that, so that, again, we have to be very particular so law enforcement knows and the public knows exactly where it starts and where it stops, and that the judge can enforce that. So criminal statutes and traffic have to be very specific. So they help provide that to us. And we'll,
Whatever we do, I don't wanna hinder, stopping it in Cameron, because that's the cause right now. We need to get that done.
But they helped us with that.
It'll start advertising this Thursday.
Okay.
And then we can adopt it in November.
And Miss Katie, I know you sent us in red kinda a little more information for the Jake Break one. I saw the red light, four-way stop, and then, from the Y and Cameron, don't forget about the caution light, but that's probably just a clerical error.
Caution light.
Yeah, in Creole.
It says at the four-way stop and at the caution light in
Correct.
Rio, and from the Y, mile marker 31 to the ferry on Highway 82 in Cameron. And we're gonna add Holly Beach between mile marker 45 on Louisiana 27, and I have some more to add to that, to mile marker 25 on Louisiana Highway 82, and mile marker 48 on Louisiana Highway 27 north of Holly Beach and Johnson Bayou between mile marker 13 on Louisiana Highway 82 and mile marker 11 on Louisiana Highway 82.
So, at the four-way and the caution light, again, I don't think we didn't add a mile marker, but
Not yet. That
so
should be an after.
I'd 500 feet, 500 yards before you get to that intersection. You tell me, I said something like within 500 yards. That may be too much, but I mean, you tell me at what, I can't just.
To me, 500 yards sounds good.
That's good. All right, I got it right. So he said 500 yards within that intersection.
Correct. Because before that, they're not gonna be stopping.
No, I agree, but we just had to put some limit.
Yeah. No, I don't
Yeah,
want
so
to.
Mr. Tom, can we, in the ordinance, can we make this say engine brake, since Jake is a brand, I believe, so you'll only be excluding one brand of engine brakes?
But we'll have to check them every time.
No, that's a good point. That's,
Yeah.
so we say engine, can't use engine brakes within those areas.
And, Mr. President, the only other thing I got in addition on the Rutherford Beach roads, I see the gentleman's here with the estate or part of the estate. I don't know if he has anything he would like to add or speak on. But I,
Come up, sir, if you don't mind, appreciate it.
My name's Ben Carver, and I'm one of the representatives of the Rutherford Estate. Our only concern was when they talked about abandonment, we want to make sure that were those roads actually donated, because the parishes obviously want to not have their liability. We didn't want that liability to revert back to us.
Okay.
I did talk to Bethany, yes, thank you. And she was doing some research to make sure that those roads were donated. And in our plat, it says that, but we don't have, it's just a note on the plat, not official document. So we were checking on that, because in other roads, like the Rutherford Beach Road is actually an easement. So we actually own the land under the road. But in the subdivision case, we're fairly sure that those roads were donated along with the beachfront access. And so therefore, we wouldn't have any kind of liability in case you abandon any part of that road.
Did you ever find heads or tails if it's gonna go to the adjacent landowners or?
Yeah, that would be, that's what Tom would.
Okay, yeah, we
If
won't
it-
get too
yeah.
far, we'll try to figure that out.
It's not ours. Hopefully, it will go to the adjacent.
Okay. Yep, yep.
Any other questions for us?
And- and-
Clarify, it's state law that if you abandon if the parish has ownership of the roadway, and then the public entity owns the roadway, it abandons it, and it goes in equal portions to the adjoining landowners. If it's a dedicated, if it's an easement, and the ownership underneath the road is still owned by somebody, in other words, if it's not ownership of the land, then that's right, you just release the easement, and the ownership continues with whoever owns the land underneath.
Okay. In the future, I know we spoke the other day for a little bit of time on the beach. If we can get some kind of support on one of these roads, would y'all still be looking to entertain maybe another access point if it cuts across any of y'all's estate?
Yeah, I think that's possible. I mean, those right-of-ways still exist, and they go all the way to the west end of the property, so. If you've abandoned them or whatever to reestablish them, that would be a question for some smart people to figure out, but yeah.
Yes, sir.
We'd entertain.
Okay, we appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
President, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Katie, number 11, the CEA with the CBO services, how long is that contract?
1 year with the option to renew.
And we are still currently looking for a CBO still?
Yes, we are advertising. I believe we had 2 applicants, as far as I know. Trudy, she's not in here, she's doing payroll.
We have like a date when the advertisement ends? Or how many days was it from advertisement?
I'll check with Trudy and see when the application period closes.
And, I guess.
So if we find a CBO between now and the end of our 1 year, we're still obligated for the 1 year contract?
You're under a contract, but you pay for services that are rendered. So if you do not request any inspections, you do not have to pay like a minimum fee, monthly fee.
So this might give us enough time to allow a CBO, somebody to apply, that maybe doesn't have all the qualifications, or we're still looking for a set?
Ideally, we would like someone who's already certified, but it does give us time to train someone if there is someone local that we feel is a good fit for the position.
And number 26, can you explain the 26, the sponsorship?
So the chamber, Southwest Louisiana Chamber, which you are a member of, and our alliance, it is the 5 parish region that we are participants of. They typically have a suite in the week of what they call Washington Mardi Gras, where that's where Louisiana takes over DC. They set up meetings with all of your congressional delegation to talk about issues that are specifically issues in Louisiana. So your chamber, they typically have a suite that they solicit sponsorships from, and it's open for 2 days, and everyone that are members have use of this suite to meet with any of your legislators. They do events and functions. It's a good place to network with not only your congressional delegation, but anyone that travels to DC to do any type of business. Very heavily attended by industry as well. We never ask for a sponsorship. We typically just go and visit whenever we're there. But this year, because the Mardi Gras King is actually Gray Stream, it is going to be a very well attended event by our region. And so they reached out to us and asked if we would agree to do a $5,000 sponsorship. It would give us full access to the suite over the 2-day period. We could schedule our own meetings within this suite. We would have a logo on all of their materials, all of their promotional items. We even have the opportunity to give things throughout the suite. So this is not just something that your Louisiana congressional delegation attends. This is everyone at DC. So I know we are adopting our master plan at the end of this meeting. And then in November, we're going to request a resolution to prioritize what Cameron Parish's needs are. I know armoring the ship channel is definitely your top priority. And so we do think that this would be the best opportunity to have our delegation go and speak directly to your congressional representatives and your industry in Southwest Louisiana about trying to do some sort of partnership where we can solicit private donations and collaborate with our Lake Charles Port to see if we can get some armoring done in the ship channel. Sorry, I'm drinking some water. I wasn't expecting to talk that much. So it's $5,000. Our port did vote last Monday. They agreed to do a sponsorship, and so that's what we're requesting from you today.
No questions here, Mr. President.
Can you ride with Miss Kim?
Sir?
Can you ride with Miss Kim to DC?
Yes, sir. We actually do share a room.
I'll see her, I think. Oh, I see this in the back.
We brought a small delegation last year, so Michael and both Sonny were in attendance, and they may be able to speak on, to you guys and to the public on what the benefits are of attending something like this.
No, I think it's a great experience. It's a great experience to let everybody know on the Washington D.C. level how special we are in Cameron Parish. As I said to most of my constituents, I think that it really, yeah, you got to pay to play, but it comes with a great return. It really does. And I'm grateful that, you know, Cameron Parish is in the spotlight it's in today. I think that we got great opportunity in front of us. Before history, we was kind of just backseat riders. You know, I know that there's downfall about change and growing of the LNG industry and all, but I think overall it's been a great thing, great opportunity for our parish. And if any of y'all get a chance to see that in DC, y'all will definitely get to see that it helps us. It helps us with our parish, it helps us with growth, helps us with infrastructure, some of the things we've been struggled on. Hence the reason Mr. Ronald was picking about them riding together to try to save money. So, you know, we try to make the most of the little bit we have, but it definitely puts a playing field in front of us where we can go compete for some big dollars and big infrastructure that hopefully one day I was making a joke as we was crossing the ferry, maybe one day we'll have a bridge.
Yeah. I'd like to reiterate on that. It's the one time that the state, our senators and our congressmen make themselves available to us as a whole. We get to meet with them independently and collectively. We get to meet with the senators, and we don't really get that access to them guys very often. It's a good opportunity for us, not only that, but to network with people like the Port of Lake Charles when we come to Almer and this river. We work together on those senators at the same time. So it's a very good experience, and it's well worth the money.
Thank you. Thank you. Any more comments, questions?
Good.
So we're gonna have the two add-ons, President authority to sign property use agreement for the 4-H shooting and authority to advertise speed limit change on Terrace Road 4157 from 25 miles per hour to 10 miles per hour.
And Mr. Sunday asked about a resolution.
Oh, I just thought, no, I thought that we're gonna do that the 14th. We've done run over our time limit.
Okay, that's okay.
But y'all are aware of what I want, so I want y'all to be thinking about it. If you have any questions, please talk to me.
Okay.
Motion to adjourn?
Motion to
Second.
Motion by Mr. Michael, second by Mr. Sonny, all in favor.
Aye.
Motion carries. We will reconvene at 1:15. 1:15.